Well, Danny, how do you see the run into the group, the second half of the group from where you are, having got 3 wins already?
Well, obviously we want more of the same. I think a couple of home games in there which we want to perform in front of our home crowd, because I think what impressed me was the Connacht game, the numbers that turned out for a B&I Cup game at home. So I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get that again. Pontypridd will hopefully attract that. They're a side that are more than capable of causing an upset to us and at home, and one of the tougher sides we've played this year. I think they'll get a fair bit of travelling support as well. So I think that makes for a good occasion this weekend, and something that I know the boys are focused on and we're all looking forward to.
Would you like to get the group all tied up before you go to London Scottish for the last game, just to take any kind of tension out of it?
Well, yeah, obviously if we can get a good win on the weekend, then great. That's what we're all aiming for, and so be it. But I think, as I've said before about the B&I Cup, it's important that we use it not only to target performances and wins, but also to target opportunities to have a look at players, and we've certainly done that over the first few games, and we'll do that over the next few games. There's a number of good young players that it gives us an opportunity to play in a tough environment, if you like, in a testing environment, to try and develop and test our squad. So I don't see that being any different over the next few weeks, and hopefully the balance of a bit of youth and experience will be enough to sort of pull us through for results as well.
With those younger players, they'll experience an intensity that, based on the first game, will be quite feisty.
No doubt about that. I think you play sides like Pontypridd and have got that reputation of being 100%, and we know coming to us they'll be no different. They've got some great players there. They themselves have got a good mixture of youth and experience, and there's some guys like Richella, David Lockyer, who've played a lot of rugby at a high level, and if they're involved on the weekend, they'll give our young players a real test, the ones that play. So it makes for a good occasion and a good test, and I think therefore when you do play different combinations, you can really assess whether it's been successful or not, because the opposition is worthy opposition.
You've got nearly 50 players all told. I mean, the good thing about that is that you can rest people and it avoids sort of soft tissue injuries and such like. But equally, it keeps everybody, or can keep everybody, sharp if you balance your selection, and that's what you're trying to do, isn't it, through the season?
Yeah, definitely. We get a lot of competition in training. We do a fair bit of live work. We've done a fair bit of live work this morning, both in set piece and in general play. So we get that competition from training sessions, and I think by the way we've approached selection for this competition and the championship, I think we've created competition within the squad, because most players, if not all players, have had a really good opportunity to show what they're capable of, and ultimately, as we all know, it's about reaching the business end of the season with a fit, healthy, competitive squad, and the foundations of which are laid now.
You say about younger players, I mean, Andy Short's not had much rugby this season because of his toe, and Ben's had a jaw problem, but both those back in around the squad this weekend. Yeah,
well, like you say, when you say young, you're not necessarily young in age, but young in recent experience, let's say, and game time, and also then some young players that we've got as well. So yeah, that I think, depending on the scenario for each player, is whether it's appropriate for them to play, and as you've mentioned, in those circumstances it is.
What would you hope that those two, who are a little bit more rugby-wise, if you like, what can they pass on to the likes of the Elias Genges, who are just coming through the system?
Well, I think that those guys have played a fair bit of rugby for Bristol and a good level, so they'll bring that bit of experience. And I think they'll also prove, as they have done with their recovery from injuries, that they're really keen to get out there and play, and they'll bring the right attitude towards what is a fixture that will need the right attitude.
And as far as Ponty are concerned, I mean, they'll bring pride and commitment and effort. Anything specific apart from that?
Well, like I say, they've got some good young players and some good experienced players. They've got a backline that I think has proved in their competition that they're dangerous. And on any given day as well, they've got a forward pack that'll be very dogged and very committed, and we've got to make sure that doesn't sort of take away from what we're capable of. And I think our forward performance on the weekend in terms of set piece work was good again, and we want to make sure we can take that into this fixture, but we also want to improve on some of the other areas. We were a little bit scrappy on the weekend. in a number of aspects of our play. So we want to put that right. That started today. We trained well today in a physical session. So hopefully that'll stand us in good stead for the weekend.
And just one more from me. As somebody who's come into the club this year, have you found the boys receptive to your ideas? Because every coach brings something new, don't they?
Yeah, they've been great from my end. You know, it's been a pleasure to work with so far. I think what we've got there is players that can bring stuff to the table as well, and I think it is a collective in terms of my approach. It's involving some of our senior players, especially like Ryan Jones and Sorensen and people like that will bring a lot of experience to the table, and they've been receptive to what I've asked them to do and what they themselves are asking of each other. So yeah, so far so good. But you know, I think we're all fully aware we need to keep kicking on and make sure that, like I said before, when we get to the business end of the season, we're where we need to be, both as a forward pack, a back line, and more importantly as a team.